Hello, it's Andrew Fong from Feng Shui Healing. Uh, Today I wanted to talk about the topic of unity over separation. And so I studied psychology, got a bachelor's in psychology back in 2001. And one of the things we studied was what was called back then the DSM-4. And DSM-4 is essentially what they call the Diagnostics and Statistics Manual for Mental Disorders. And it essentially, it's an encyclopedia of all the mental disorders with their symptoms and associated treatments. And that was fine, learning that in college. But as I got older, I started looking at. I was like, wow, it's so rigid, very like everything. I mean, you have this is this symptom, then it's got to be this, right? And I started questioning it more and more as I got older. And we're basically taught that we need to have a scientific explanation for everything. If not, we attack it out of fear, right? Out of fear because it doesn't conform to our ego or to our existing belief system. So I give you another example of essentially a lot of, like, say, bacteria, right? Mass media coverage on bacteria is all bacteria is bad, we need to kill it all. On my journey I found out that, well, there's actually a good amount of bacteria that's actually good for us, especially the ones in our gut, in our stomach region. It's actually good in a sense where it's good bacteria is instrumental to our peak functioning of our immune system. So for us to always say, oh, we have to kill all bacteria, whatnot, we certainly can, but you just have to understand that we're suppressing our immune system in the process. So, and I've just noticed that it doesn't stop there, right? It's a lot of this where let's attack this. Kill this, kill that, and it's always about, like, whoa, what how about coexistence, right? Can we not coexist? Or is it just our ego saying that, no, we have to be the superior being and no one else can dominate us, right? Like, there's always this persistent, like, we have to be in control. So, and I think it will be good for us to take a few steps back to understand that instead of, essentially shift our consciousness 180 degrees and to understand that we could coexist with good bacteria, and I'm not saying that, there are some, there are some diseases that are essentially, that, we may actually need medication for. But for the most part, I'm just thinking, I don't think we should, always make an immediate snap judgment for bacteria that can actually be good for us. So, and it kind of, circles back on the whole topic of, really just coming from a place of more love and compassion over, fear and anger, and also with, say, ethnic groups, right? It's also another label that I found as I got older, as it also creates separation. And when you look at that, it's just, if you look at it, it's like whites versus blacks, yellow versus brown, Catholics versus Christians, Buddhism versus Judaism, you name it. I mean, there's so many different combinations, and you're like, well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I mean, when you really look at it, there's no right or wrong. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody does their own research and fact checking, and everybody's life is very unique in that regard. So, what makes this person's, person A's opinion superior over person B's opinion? They both could put up, really good, factual, fact-finding arguments. And the purpose of me going over this is to really explore over how, again, mental disorder classifications, religious classifications, or even ethnic groups. It's when you really look at it, what unites all of us? We're all here for the same common goal, and that's love, social connections, and security. And I think that's really the lowest common denominator for everybody's cumulative life goals. And in the end, love has no boundaries. It is not defined or restricted within the confines of these groups or categories. Love is love. So I just wanted to explain that, and wanted to share my ideas with everyone about what I think about what love is. And I think when we come again from a place of more love, compassion, and forgiveness, our perspective of our reality will shift 180 degrees for the better. Thank you.